Welcome to Scrum Masters Elite_UK. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to explore the inspiring story of Tana Umaga and the Kapa o Pango Haka, a lesson in respecting culture, traditional values, and unity.
Tana Umaga and the Kapa o Pango Haka are not just an interesting piece of New Zealand sports history, but also a profound lesson about change, cultural understanding, and the importance of preserving spiritual values during times of transition. Behind the creation of this haka lies an emotional journey, reflecting the transformation of a legendary team from performing a symbolic gesture to connecting deeply with the true cultural values. The disrespect moment, a challenging start. In 2004, as the New Zealand rugby team prepared for a match against South Africa, Tana Umaga, the captain of the All Blacks at the time, had a significant moment. It was the moment when he realized that the haka performed by the team in international matches, while familiar and powerful, lacked a deep connection with the cultural values it represented. Umaga recalled that when standing on the field with his teammates, he thought that performing the haka at that time was just a habit, a ritual repeated without truly understanding the meaning behind it. It was a moment of disrespect, which Umaga admitted, because they hadn't truly connected with the dance, nor understood the importance of performing it with heart and soul. Many people might think that a strong and successful team like the All Blacks could not lack pride and faith in the cultural values they were protecting. But this very realization of Umaga became even more valuable. In that moment, he understood that it was not just about performing, but about understanding what they were doing. This was the turning point for everything to change, leading to the creation of a new haka, not just to continue the tradition but to renew it, connecting it with the present and future.
A journey to understand Maori culture. To understand the true meaning of the haka, Umaga and his teammates invited a Maori elder, Derek Lardeli, to share his knowledge with them. During this workshop, Lardeli not only explained the haka, but also helped them realize the importance of performing it with respect and a true connection to the land and ancestors. This wasn't a theoretical lesson, but a real experience, offering a new perspective on the deep relationship between people and their land. Derek Lardeli posed a question that awakened Umaga. Do you have any loved ones buried on this land? This seemingly simple question carried immense power, as it made Umaga think not just about his family, but about an invisible yet profound relationship between people and the land, between past and present generations. It was this connection that created strength, a foundation for resilience in every match. With every step they took, the players weren't just moving, but stamping their feet on sacred ground, where the blood and sweat of their ancestors had fallen. From then on, they weren't just performing a dance, but expressing a spiritual connection and respect for the heritage they carried on their shoulders. And in that moment, Umaga realized that performing the haka wasn't just about sending a message to the opponent. It was a way to show respect and unity within the team.
Kapa o Pango, the birth of a new legacy. With a deep understanding of the haka and its significance, Umaga and his teammates decided they needed to create a new haka Kapa o Pango. This wasn't about replacing the old haka but renewing it, so it would become a symbol of a strong, united team proud of its heritage. However, not everyone agreed with this change. In particular, younger players who had grown up with the traditional haka were concerned about changing a ritual that had existed for centuries. This was another lesson in respecting values that had been maintained over time. The skepticism from the younger players was entirely understandable, as they hadn't gone through the same process of understanding as their older teammates. Therefore, convincing them was a significant challenge. But once again, it was Umaga's understanding and persistence that helped them overcome the resistance. They spent time explaining, discussing, and eventually, the entire team came together to agree on performing Kapa o Pango. This process was not just a change in a dance but a shift in the way the team viewed tradition, connection, and attachment to cultural heritage. The key point wasn't maintaining an old tradition, but finding the best way to convey it fully and meaningfully in a modern context, preserving its identity while allowing it to grow stronger. Lessons on understanding, respect, and unity. The story of Tana Umaga and the creation of Kapa o Pango is a profound lesson not just for the players, but for all of us in life. First, it reminds us that ignorance can lead to disrespect, but when we open our hearts and deeply understand the values and heritage we possess, we realize their immense power. More importantly, when we understand them, we can protect and develop these values in a correct and sustainable way. Secondly, this story teaches us about the strength of unity and respect within a group. Sometimes, to change something that has existed for a long time, we need consensus and understanding from everyone, from those who have been involved for a long time to those who are new. True change only succeeds when it is embraced by everyone and carried out together. Finally, it's a lesson on the connection between the past and the present. Heritage is not something separate from us, it is an essential part of every individual's and group's development journey. We can't live by old memories alone without renewing them. It is by renewing and reviving our heritage that we can grow stronger, staying true to our identity while also blending with the world around us. From Tana Umaga's story, we see that performing a meaningful act, whether in sports or life, is not just about appearance, it is about understanding, respect, and a deep connection with the values we represent. And that is the key to creating sustainable and meaningful change.
Thank you for following Scrum Masters Elite_UK. We hope that the story of Tana Umaga and the Kapa o Pango Haka has provided profound lessons about change, respecting culture, and unity. See you in the upcoming content.